Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. So here we are at the final book in the Harry Potter series. Just to briefly recap my history with this, I was already an adult when the Harry Potter books came out. I was already an adult when the Harry Potter movies first started coming out. And I avoided them for a while because I thought, that's kid stuff. But, eventually I got caught up in the whole thing and was curious. And a friend of mine had most of them on audiobook, and he loaned them to me. An audiobook is kind of that perfect level of commitment when you're not quite sure you want to commit time to something, but you're still curious about it. So I did books 1 to 6 as audiobooks. And then by book 7, I actually went out and bought a real copy and just kind of physically read the thing the old-fashioned way. So, probably nobody cares about me, but this is the only one of the Harry Potter books that I actually physically read as opposed to doing it by audio. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably already know kind of about this book anyways. You know that the final fates of Harry and Voldemort are revealed, several characters die, and we learn the true loyalties of Severus Snape. Aside from that, I'll try not to spoil anything too much. Excuse me. The book starts off with a bang, and it finishes with a bang. But in the middle, it lags a bit, as the mystery stews and the usual quarrels between Ron, Hermione, and Harry pop up again, for yet the 7th time now. Also, unlike all the previous books, in this one the action takes place away from Hogwarts. So it's not tied to the school year calendar. So all those things about the previous Harry Potter books that kind of made them a bit fun, the usual house rivalries, the Quidditch matches, Malfoy's mischief, bumbling teachers, they're all gone from this book. Those also had a way of kind of padding out, how do I want to say this? All those various other subplots which were tied to the school year, the Quidditch shenanigans and the house shenanigans, had a way of kind of keeping the characters busy while the main mystery was stewing. In this book, because they're kind of out camping, there's no kind of B-plot to kind of keep the characters busy while the main mystery is stewing. And in my opinion, that kind of makes this book lag even more in the middle. Now, this is the 7th book in the series, so I expected we were going to get some answers. But then right from the beginning of the book, what happens is all of a sudden a whole bunch of new questions start getting raised. Which, upon reflection, is how these books usually work. You kind of start off each book with a new mystery being raised, and this book is no exception. But, fear not, by the end, all the questions, both the new questions and the old questions from the previous book, are all answered. Now, I've not really kind of gone through this series with a fine-tooth comb and tried to kind of keep careful track of everything. I did get the sense at times that it was being inconsistent in terms of what the magical powers could do from one scene to the other. I think this is kind of typical of fantasy books like this. There are several times when I found myself wondering, well, if they had the power to do this in this situation, why didn't they use it before? And maybe there's an explanation for that. Like I said, I haven't gone through it carefully. I suspect it's just kind of a continuity error. But you can't worry about these things too much in a series like this. Another note, there is an unusually high body count in this book. A lot of characters die. Now, some of these are necessary to the story. Necessary in the sense that they kind of heighten the drama at key moments. but some of them just kind of seem superfluous. And I got the sense that J.K. Rowling was just determined to shock everyone in the final book and go out in a big bang. And that's why there's just kind of so many characters are dying in this final book. A couple more odds and ends thoughts in no particular order. Like many books in the fantasy genre, this book has a plot which is a bit too similar to a video game for my taste. So the characters are on a quest to find and destroy a number of magical objects hidden in various places. I think these quest stories, as opposed to character or plot-driven stories, can be a major flaw in the genre. And I think that's part of the reason why the middle of the book drags a bit, in my opinion, is we go on kind of this quest story, but it's not really driven by much of a plot. One more note, and this is an odd thing to pick up on, but I picked up on it, so I'm going to talk a little bit about it. The characters were using what seemed to me an odd exclamation, which is effing, which was spelled in the book E-F-F-I-N-G. Now, I don't remember this being in the previous Harry Potter books, although again, the previous ones I all did by audiobook. So maybe I missed this. What was this in the previous books? But it just seemed to me like kind of a weird word. Now I thought, is effing supposed to be like the sanitized version of the F word? Well, I looked it up online, and Wikidictionary, the Wikipedia version of the dictionary, seems to be backing me up on this. This is supposed to be fuck or fucking, but it's just kind of the sanitized version of it as effing, which I don't know. Is this more common in Britain? I thought this was a bit odd. I thought this was a bit odd for a couple of reasons. I thought, what is the F word doing in Harry Potter to begin with? I mean, even a sanitized version of the F word. And two, what a funny word. I mean, if you want to say fuck, just say fuck. Why go around and say effing? Yeah, in fact, speaking of which, when I was in college, we used to kind of joke around with this, me and my friends. We kind of say, F. Or that effing test or something like that. And we would intentionally do it just as kind of like, it sounded silly to us, the kind of boulderdized version of kind of swear words. Just kind of, it was a bit of an inside joke, but it just made us laugh. So as I'm reading this book and I see the word effing pop up everywhere, I was just kind of smiling to myself. I don't know. If anyone out there has any more insight into this word and how it's used in Britain or how it's used in the Harry Potter series, let me know. That's an odd note to finish on, but I'm just going to finish here. Those are all my thoughts on this book.